Hi everyone, welcome to the breakout session, The Road to the District Rotaract Representative, an introduction to the DRR training. To briefly share the agenda for this breakout, I will first be going over the objectives. From there, I'll be talking about a new resource available on Rotary's Learning Center, Get Ready, District Rotaract Representative. From there, we'll be moving into a panel discussion with 3 former DRRs, who I will introduce in just a few minutes. They will be sharing their insights and perspectives on being a DRR during this panel discussion. So throughout this breakout and panel discussion, we're going to be focusing on 4 things. First, you'll gain varying perspectives on the role from past District Rotaract representatives. You'll also gain an introduction to the main components for the District Rotaract representative role, learn how District Rotaract representatives can be elected to the position, and finally learn different tips and strategies for communicating effectively with your committee and clubs in your district. So before we jump into our panel discussion, I did just want to take a few minutes to highlight a new training available on our Learning Center called Get Ready District Rotaract Committee. As you may know, in previous years at the Rotaract pre-convention, the Road to the District Rotaract Representative included 3 additional trainings: the trainer, the organizer, and the promoter. Because of the timing of our virtual pre-convention this year, these 3 additional trainings will not be taking place. So I wanted to emphasize that this course highlights many of the same topics and much more. So first, let's make sure everybody knows how to access the Learning Center. If you haven't already, you'll need to create a My Rotary account. Go to myrotary.org and be sure to follow the instructions to confirm your account. Once you have access to My Rotary, you can go directly to rotary.org/learn and use the same login you used to create your My Rotary account. When you do, you will find a landing page that looks like this. You can use the menu bar highlighted here to search for different courses, including Get Ready District Rotaract Committee. So once you search for Get Ready District Rotaract Committee, you'll come to a page that looks like this. To begin the course, you'll need to be sure to click Enroll. Once enrolled, you'll be able to begin this course whenever you choose. It provides an overview of the District Rotaract representative role and how to fulfill your responsibilities to the committee to ensure Rotaract thrives in your district. You'll be guided through different lessons that provide insights on the DRR and committee responsibilities, including administrative and financial, training, organizing, and promoting. We would strongly encourage you and other members of your committee to take this course to learn more about your different roles and responsibilities. So now I'm very excited to introduce our panelists who are joining us today. First, I would like Ignacio, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Ignacio Gonzalez. I'm from Rotaract Club Oriente de Talca, from District 4340, Chile. And this year, I am a member of the Rotaract Committee of Rotary International. I was the DRR in the year 2015 and 16.
Great, thank you so much. Joey, could you please introduce yourself?
Thanks, Caitlin. Hello, everyone. My name is Joey Vaesen. I'm from District 5020, which includes Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada, as well as the western part of the state of Washington, USA, from the Rotaract Club of Victoria.
Great, thank you, Joey. And Nishita, could you now please introduce yourself?
Thanks, Caitlin. Hello, everyone. This is Rotaract Nishita Pednekar. I'm from Rotaract Club of MAPSA, that's from District 3170. Presently, the Rotaract moderator for the International Assembly in 2021, and have been served as a DRR for the year 1819.
Great, thank you to you all again for being here today. So to begin our conversation, I would like to start with Ignacio. Could you please talk a little bit about how the position of the DRR supports Rotary's overall mission?
Yeah, I think DRRs needs to be inspirational and close leaders. We need to grow Rotary. So the role of every DRR needs to be so important in that. DRRs need to be close to the clubs, like promoting a Rotaract in different Rotary places and different Rotary activities, and especially needs to be close to every Rotaractor of the districts. We need to make greaters than us. And I think the first question that we need to ask ourselves when we start to be this road to be DRR is, what kind of DRR do you want to be, especially in the cases when we are just starting in Rotaract. In that moment, we have so many questions, so many doubts, and we need that push. And I think when we are DRRs, we can do that with every Rotaractor.
That's so great. Thank you so much. So moving on from that, I wanted to look a little bit at the process for becoming elected a DRR. Nishita, can we start with you? And could you please share how you were elected, as well as how many different Rotaract clubs you oversaw as DRR?
Yes, definitely. I believe that every district has a different procedure in terms of how they elect their DRRs. What we follow in District 3170, that's a part of South Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Goa in India, is that we file in nominations to the DRCC, who accepts the nominations. And if there are more than 1 or 2 nominations, we do have interviews. And on the basis of your merit, and then you're selected to be the DRR. This is what we were following, and we are following. I was very much lucky to serve as a DRR in the term 18-19, that's last year. And I overtook around 62 clubs during that tenure.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Joey, I think this experience looked a little different for you. Would you mind talking about what your experience looked like being elected to DRR and how many clubs you oversaw as DRR?
Sure, thanks, Caitlin. So yeah, my experience was really quite different than what Nishita just shared. Prior to becoming DRR in my district, there hadn't been a DRR for several years. So at the time, I'd been pushing for my district to become a member of an MDIO, which required the district to have a DRR in order to join. So my governor-elect appointed me as the DRR in order to fulfill the district's obligations with the MDIO, but then I later realized that the role would involve more than just participating in the MDIO business. In my district, there are really only a handful of fairly small clubs spread across a wide geographic area. So when I was appointed, there wasn't much of a structure around Rotaract at the district level. Nobody really knew that Rotary International provided actual guidelines for how DRRs should be elected and that sort of thing. I eventually learned that my experience is similar to many others in some parts of the world, and like Nishita was sharing, the process differs from district to district. And ultimately, the districts may end up having lots of Rotaract clubs and lots of Rotaractors and need to follow a more clearly defined process, or perhaps they'll be more like mine, where you've been selected under an alternative process that works for the district. Ultimately, it all works out the same, and everybody can grow Rotaract in the different areas across the world.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. Thank you both for sharing that. Moving on now, I want to discuss how you were all able to receive support and really engage with different constituencies, including members of your district Rotaract Committee, the district Rotaract Chair, and the DG. Ignacio, let's begin with you.
Yeah, well, DRR needs to connect, needs to mentor, and especially needs to work as a team. So with this new Rotaract policy, we were really close with the Rotarians. So I think my first advice to everyone is be close to your governor. Take a coffee, maybe a video call right now, but try to show him or her about what is the importance of Rotaract, how Rotaractors work, and especially how we can integrate nice spaces inside our districts to grow Rotary in general. Another thing is we have a cross leadership in the District Rotaract Committee. So it's so cool if you have a good relation with your District Rotaract chair, talk with them, like share maybe some ideas, some fears, or maybe some dreams or projects that you have for your district, and work everyone like happy and together in the District Rotaract Committee, invite good Rotarians, former Rotaractors, really motivate Rotaractors, Rotarians, and work everyone here and try to do our best for our clubs.
That's great, thank you. So, Nishita, do you think, could you sort of share a little bit about your experience with the same question?
Yes, definitely. I would completely agree with Ignacio. It's very important that we have a healthy relation with all our Rotarians and the entire committee, because finally it's the teamwork that makes the dream work. And definitely when we as DRRs have this opportunity to create more leaders for our district who then have a new future, because I frankly believe that we are the future of Rotary, and Rotary plays a very important role in nurturing these Rotaractors. we may never know how inspiring we could be and what inspiration Rotary is to us. So definitely it's very important to have a healthy relation, and together we will achieve more in terms of everything that we are seeking for.
Great, thank you so much, Nishita. So continuing to kind of focus on this idea of communications, Joey, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the different communication strategies that you implemented so you could communicate effectively with different Rotaractors across your district.
Sure, thanks again, Caitlin. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, my district really only has a handful of Rotaract clubs, and they're spread out across a wide geographic area. And before becoming DRR, there really wasn't much of a structure for Rotaract at the district level. Now this meant that there also wasn't very much communication between the Rotaract clubs, and the clubs rarely received any district-related communications. So when I became DRR, my objective really was to establish communications between the Rotaract clubs. Now, this was before Zoom existed, I think, so I don't remember exactly what platform we used to set up regular calls, but that's what we did. We set up calls to connect with different club leaders across the district. And then through this process, we would establish relationships and learn from each other's experience, but also be able to disseminate district-related information about upcoming events or other opportunities. We also gathered regular feedback within the meetings and through other text-based communications like email that led us to adapting the schedule and the meeting platform over time, as well as changing the topics in each discussion in order to get the most engagement from clubs across the district. And as a result, I think we were able to build those relationships with club leaders and kind of implement a better process for future DRRs to start further ahead than I did.
Great, thank you so much, Joey, for sharing that. So I think to conclude this part of our conversation, I was wondering, Nishita, could you highlight some of the upcoming training sessions and resources that are available to DRRs and DRRs-elects?
Thank you, Caitlin. Definitely would love to share those things. As you said for the starting of this session, that we do have learning centers right now into our Rotary site, which are of great advantage considering of the era that we're living now, where we have all gone virtual. They are definitely of great knowledge. We definitely have many e-institutes that go on online. We're opting for virtual right now, so every district should have training materials that go online. We even have every MDIOs that given knowledge about various things that have been done in various districts. And main importantly, would like to elaborate on the fact that now as Rotaractors, we have got this opportunity to be part of the International Assembly that takes place every year for all our DG-elects. So definitely this year, all the Rotaractors have this opportunity to be a part of the International Assembly for 2021, which is going to be held at Florida. The forms are out, the applications are out. It's for all the DRRs and the DRRs-elects, and it's a special appeal to all of them to never miss this opportunity, but because where often we find like-minded people who work for a common goal to come together and work together. So make use of this opportunity, and that's how we know that Rotary connects the world, and we have these opportunities being present to us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. So wonderful. Thank you all. This concludes the Road to the District Rotaract Representative and Introduction to the DRR training. Once again, I'd like to thank our panelists for being here today and for taking the time to share their insights and perspective on the role of the DRR. To learn more about your role, remember, again, you can take the training Get Ready District Rotaract Committee available on our Learning Center. For those of you watching and participating in this session, thank you for joining us today. And of course, please feel free to reach out to us at Rotary International. If you have any additional questions, you can email us at rotaract@rotary.org. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.